BMW has always been known for making controversial, weird decisions that make people complain and whine in the short run, but in the long run, it actually makes them a lot of money. Nothing is a better physical model of this analogy than the X6 sports activity vehicle. If anybody doesn't know, the X6 is like a coupe, kind of styly, less practical, but it's supposed to be more sporty looking version of the X5 SUV, which is the practical, more sensible option if you ask me. This is the M50 model, which has a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8. The V8 we're talking about produces something like 530 horsepower, but unfortunately it's bolted to a body that I am not a fan of. To me, coupe SUVs, especially the large ones, have always been really ungainly and kind of ugly. The main goal of this review is for me to try to see the other side and understand why so many people buy these coupe SUVs. I've always hated on them, but I'm thinking maybe the crystal accents on the interior, the V8 engine, among other things, will help me change my mind about the coupe SUV and the X6 in particular, because it's the car that actually invented the segment. So let's start with the practicality and talking a little bit more about this ungainly design. My problem with the X6, especially the current version, is where they made the changes to kind of distinguish it from the regular X5, especially with the new one. Now, first off, this is a good kind of segue to thank BMW of Murray once again for lending me this car. So I was talking to my buddy that works here, and I told him as I walked away with the key, thinking, I want to make sure he knows that I'm not going to be kind about the styling of this car. I told him, just warning you, I don't like how it looks, so don't expect me to be kind. And he told me that it's very polarizing, yes. But you either love it or you hate it, which is kind of BMW's design ethos in the past 10, 20, 30 years. The whole point of this video for me is that I really want to walk away liking this car and understanding why people pay extra for the coupe design. I'm sorry, but anytime I'm behind one of these in traffic, it makes me feel sick. I do not like how this car looks at all. I think the rest of it's alright. It's just this back end here with these odd proportions. Look at how many angles we have. We have 1 angle, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It makes 11 turns as it comes down the back, and I really, really don't like how this car, especially the rear end, looks. It's ungainly to say the least. But I do like this color. I like their new 50th anniversary end badges that are going on all the new cars for right now. I think that's cool, even though it's not technically an M. Let's check practicality. Now I believe, no, maybe not. Okay. I was expecting, you know, you to push the roundel in, and there's a lot of scrap in here. And honestly, this is not a very large cargo area. I've got another hard plastic cover here. It does say X6 on it, which is kind of cool, I guess. But there's not a lot of room back here, honestly. Ooh! This floor is held up by gas struts, which is pretty cool. That's nice for, you know, you break down on the side of the road, you'll probably be crying. You don't want to be crying while you hold this, do you? That's a little bit annoying for an SUV. It's an expensive car. It really should have power fold down rear seats. Listen, my old 1993 3 Series, you would fold down the rear seats is exactly the same as in an X6 M50. That's a little bit of a disappointment. I need to make this apparent. It's obvious, but you're sacrificing the extra practicality of an X5. You'll get so much more space back here with the X5, and you're sacrificing it for what? This? You're sacrificing it for this butt? I don't think so. That's a very hard sell for me. I don't understand, but we're gonna keep going. Hopefully now you can hear me better, but if we just have another look and talk about the styling of this car. In my personal opinion, the X5 parts of the outside of this car, it's the best X5, X6 looking thing ever since the original, in my opinion. I think it's the best one they've made so far on the looks department. And you get to the side of the X6, and then the roof kind of slopes down. You're thinking, okay, this is a little weird. Like, the proportions of these large coupe SUVs are always really strange. You expect it to be short when it's got that sloping back end, but it's really tall. Like, the body to window ratio is just off on these things, which I think is why they look kind of ungainly. And then you get to the back and it's just, I will always defend BMW styling decisions, even with the massive lung grills. On a lot of the cars it looks okay. That's just not it though. They gotta redesign that. That is a deal breaker for me, I gotta say. So here's another problem, you guys. Look, so your rear seat passengers don't understand why you went for the uglier car, and then they get in the back seat and they don't, if they're tall like me, they don't have headroom. They're like, why didn't you buy the X5? It's so much more practical, and at the end of the day it's better looking. Come on, man, like I want to be able to move my head. There's not enough headroom in this car, which, considering the fact that it's so massive, that's a bit of a disappointment. But again, that's the coupe SUV thing for you. They all have this problem, not just BMW's fault. Although it is BMW's fault for inventing this segment, but we'll go back. We'll move past that. I don't want to just thrash on BMW all day long, or they won't let me review their cars anymore. Pull down center armrest, which is cool. We've got a little pull down tab here. Oh, that's interesting. So if you're a skier, you'll be good. If you own an X6, you want to go skiing, and you have two buddies in the back who are complaining about the lack of headroom, it's okay, because at least you can put the skis through. Although, let's say they're covered in snow, there's no kind of protection. You'll need to like buy something to keep them from making everything dirty. Back here, it's okay. I got little storage area things back here. USB-C port is nice. This is where you can mount BMW accessories like an iPad holder or a coat hook. Ooh, here's something that I really, really love. Ooh, I love these things. But they're not power operated, which makes no sense, considering, again, it's kind of a lot of money for this car. There should be a button to operate these, and they are power operated on a lot of BMWs. Don't worry, they do know how to do that. Climate control here in the center for the back seats. And I might just turn my heated seat on because it's cold. And look, I believe this is an individual interior. I've got white and blue and gorgeous Napa leather. I mean, the materials and quality of feel and everything in here is really, really nice. If you move past the headroom argument, it's definitely a practical, nice car for people in the back seat, so they shouldn't complain too much. We step into the front seat here, and this is where my complaint points end, really, because this is a very, very nice interior. The one benefit, I have to say, of a really tall car like this is the commanding driving position, which is such an over talked about thing with SUVs, but it's true. I hate to say it. When you sit in here, you really kind of feel like you're upright and substantial and important, which is a nice thing. Again, these individual seats are really nice. Heated and cooled, which is cool that you can turn them on at the same time. It kind of sucks when automakers dangle this whole thing in front of you saying, hey, they're heated and they're cooled, but they're not heated and cooled, are they? They're heated or cooled. Look, guys! That was really cringy. Look, everybody. Crystal. We finally get to review a BMW with crystal design elements and stuff. So the gear shifter is crystal, the start button is crystal, and the iDrive controller is crystal. Like I talked about, BMW likes their love it or hate it things. People either love it or hate the crystal, and I gotta say, I really love it. It's so tacky and stupid, but sometimes you just gotta love tacky and stupid, am I right? Thankfully, the X6 and the X5 are still old enough that they're using iDrive 7. The benefit of iDrive 7 is that there's still physical climate control buttons. It's really easy. It's not hard to understand. They're buttons. I mean, you know where you're gonna find them. You know how to use them. It's easy. iDrive 7, the infotainment system, it's nice, and it doesn't have a lot of cool features, but you can really go in and your owner's manual with videos and stuff like that. It definitely was designed back in like 2017 to be really nice, cutting edge, brand new, and intuitive and useful, and it is still pretty good. It's good enough. It's better than a lot of other infotainment systems. It does definitely show its age, but for now, it's definitely okay. Moving back to materials and things, I don't like carbon fiber in an interior. It looks good in here, but I would so much rather just have wood trim. The cup holders are really nice because they got tabs in them and they'll hold your Starbucks in there nice and tight so you don't have to spill your Starbucks all over the buttons here because it'll hold it, which is good. USB-A charger, which is nice. Wireless charger, which is really nice, and then there's another little storage area for a phone that doesn't have wireless charging. Camera system, which is cool. That's what you'd want from a car of this size. Traction control off for when you're, on the Nürburgring. They haven't taken this and shoved it into a sub-menu in the infotainment system yet, so enjoy that button while you still have it. Got the M Sport steering wheel, which of course has the BMW M badge. It's not an X6 M, it's not the full M car, blah, blah, blah. Everybody complains about it, but again, it makes BMW money, so we can't complain about that too much, can we? Also, it is the M50. It's got performance to kind of back up those M badges. We hope, we'll find out. And I've got a digital gauge cluster up there, which is kind of cool. Heated steering wheel. I'll be using that in a minute. It's designed to be nice and usable every day as a luxury SUV, and it definitely excels at that, I think, sitting up here. The front seat is definitely a nicer place to be than the back. All complaining aside about the styling, the rear seat room, the trunk space, that V8 sounds sick. It really makes me want to try the M550i because to me, that sounds like the best of everything, including that V8 noise. But again, we're here because we want to try to love this car. So let's take it for a drive. Steering wheel is delivered to me. I feel so special. I'm just glad there's a good camera system because I'd be terrified to drive this thing every day, especially with its cost, which I'll flash up on screen. Yeah, no, I'd be terrified. Absolutely terrified. So, as is typical with my reviews, this is where we start talking about steering and maneuverability. It's electric steering, which is nice, because it makes it a breeze to weave this heavy, big thing into parking spaces and things. And despite its massive size, it's surprisingly pretty easy to maneuver. You shouldn't have any problems with turning circle on this thing. It's definitely good enough. M50i, 4-liter or 4.4-liter V8, 530 horsepower. Okay. All right. Okay. I see why people like it. I get it. I understand. Wow. This thing hauls. When you're driving a big, heavy thing like this, especially with more power, you definitely notice the speed and hard acceleration a lot easier than you do in a smaller car. It definitely goes pretty hard for what you'd expect from this size. And that's the same with the iX that I reviewed, which was also equally impressive. But it does feel huge. Jesus, this thing is, it just feels so massive. It sounds so good though. I think another disadvantage with the X6 is that I've got a lot of blind spot behind me with that sloping roof line. I just don't understand what the point of that is for people. All right, here's our favorite bit of road here to kind of floor it because we got a higher speed limit. Yeah, this thing goes hard, and I really, really, really dig this power. The X6 has always been billed as a good compromise between sports car performance and looks and SUV practicality, but it does kind of appear as a brownie green mush of both. It's definitely a flavorful mush brownie green, I gotta say. And if you put it in comfort, the noise is about the same. You definitely hear that V8 more than you would want with the comfort setting, but it's a keen engine, it's a performance engine. That's definitely what this engine is, it's performance. It is a little bit noisy, but it's not a bad noise. It really isn't a bad noise. It's a noisy, but a good kind of noisy. The kind of noisy that makes me smile. Yeah, it makes you smile. Who doesn't love a V8? If we kind of test the handling it, you definitely feel the weight. I'm just swerving around on the road like an idiot, but you definitely feel the weight when you turn the wheel, but it turns surprisingly well for an SUV. I mean, this has to be one of the best handling SUVs you can buy. Also, this thing is brand new. I mean, like 50 miles on it. I've never driven a car this new before, and it's a little scary. Let's do this again. I was just in regular drive mode, and it really, really goes pretty hard. Oh man, it is a nice car. I do like it a lot. I don't see myself going for this. I'd see myself going for M550i or X5. I kind of get why people, I mean, you want to kind of show off. That's kind of what this car is for. You kind of look like a show off, and some people really dig that. So I'm definitely understanding what this car is for. You want to look cool to your friends. That's what the X6 M50i is all about. Definitely, it's a cool car, that's for sure. It is so powerful, it's not even funny. That was like half throttle, and it just went. And I do love the driving position. You do really feel nice and high up, but you don't have the downsides of being high up, which is poor handling and poor everything else, pretty much. I just feel better than everybody I'm driving around right now. Like there's a Honda CR-V, a Jeep Renegade. These people are losers. Those people probably work for me. It is aspirational. That's a good thing with this car. Oh my god, it just I love that V8 noise. You're constantly reminded of the fact that you have the V8, and I love that. That is such a good thing. It's easy to drive, it's comfortable, it's fast as hell. It sounds so good. This is a really, really great car. I seriously dig this engine. It is an awesome engine. I just want more of this engine in my life. So I think that's gonna do it for me on this review. Yes, I'm not totally sold on the X6 and its styling and some of its downsides compared to the X5. The X5 really is the biggest problem with the X6 in my mind. The X5 is more practical, it's better looking, it's just better for everything in my opinion. But I'm left understanding why people would buy this car in particular. X6 M50i is just, it's such an athlete of an SUV. It's just too bad that it's ugly. That's the only problem with me. But I'm thinking I'm gonna end that video there, you guys. Comfort mode. Again, that was comfort mode. This X2 doesn't know what he's doing. Get out of my way, I've got the more expensive car. So that'll be it for me, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. And again, it's really up to you guys. Whatever you want out of a car, this is what's important. Everybody have a great day. Bye-bye.